Now, I want to preface this by saying that doing the work is not easy, but what you have to do is easy. And I learned this about a year ago when I started my Made in USA Amazon FBA brand. There's a simple set of things that I'm going to teach you over the course of this video that if you just follow them, you will be successful in a long enough time period with enough units of effort. It's that simple. There's right actions to perform. And there's a right way of thinking about this business model. And I want to share that with you today.
So the way to finally start making real money selling on Amazon is doing something that is different than what everyone else is doing. Put simply, if you do what everyone else does, you get the same results that everyone else does. Most people, when they try and sell on Amazon, I've seen it myself, will not exceed at their first attempt. Generally, that is because they lack the skills and the understanding of what it takes to actually make it work. And in this video, I want to try and explain to you what I had to go through over the past 5 years to get it to work for me, to become profitable, and to finally understand the mechanics of the business. First things first, I'm going to try and keep this as easy, free, and accessible for everyone as possible. So I'm just using basic software. You don't necessarily even need it. And I'm going to be using some basic examples here as well. So for instance, if I just went to new sellers or new releases in patio, lawn, and garden, these are all products that are, have come to market recently and are expecting to do well. No one launches a product on Amazon expecting to fail. Most people are thinking, this is a pretty good idea. Now let's define what a pretty good idea is, because I recently surveyed here on my YouTube channel and 51% of you chose I have a hard time finding a product to sell on Amazon, which is interesting because it's probably easier than ever. Like the ideas are everywhere. You could go to a new bestsellers list, a new releases list like this, and pick one of these, and you could make money selling them. Seriously, the idea is not the problem. So what I think is being said there is you lack the skills or you lack the intuition to make a judgment call and make a yes or no decision about which product to move forward with. So let's take one of these. Let's do Moss Pole. Prove a point here. Doesn't necessarily matter what we pick. Okay, so 48-inch Moss Pole. So what I'm guessing is that we need to search Moss Pole. Okay, now first off, let's just take a quick look at this listing. So they have 1,000 bought this month. So like I said, with actually no software, you can actually see this product selling well, how many reviews they have, the fact that they're Amazon's choice. What's going on here? We don't know how much they're spending on PPC. So if we did basic math and we said they're literally making $13,000, $14,000 with the 1,000 plus sold, could be anywhere between 1,000 and 2,000, but let's not get too caught in the weeds here. No pun intended. What if they were spending $10,000 a month on PPC? Like it wouldn't really mean anything, right? We want profitable products. So let's go see what real customers are saying. And this is one of the first things that I'll do is I'll try and have a better understanding of my market than anyone else, just simply by taking my foot off the gas for a little idea on what's going to happen here. What's my big idea? How do I win? That's only a decision you can make with supporting evidence. So just start collecting supporting evidence at first. In that, I can make a good decision here. It would be easy for you if I prompted you to go come up with a new design or better version of your favorite product or something you use every single day. You could probably, by the end of the day, have 3 really good options that are better than market average with no computer, no nothing, just sitting in a room thinking. So we have to be able to think for ourselves to succeed on Amazon. And one of those things is coming up with valuable ideas based on customer insight. So there's a 4-star here. I always like these moderate reviews. They're much more usually balanced than a really good review, really bad review. So this is working well. Looks much nicer than a wire I had in the pot. Nice and bendable. Didn't look too sturdy at first, but once I got it situated, I think it's going to work well. Okay. Didn't really get much from that. And now what I can do, keep in mind, if there's 94 global ratings, that doesn't mean there's 94 written ratings. So that actually might be all that there is for written ratings, surprisingly. Let's go search this product on Amazon. And then what you're going to learn next is how to actually come up with the decision of whether you're going to sell something or not. It's a really important skill to have. So let's keep that as a mantra this year, by the way. To get new results, better results in your current situation, you can't just copy everyone else. You need to develop this firsthand knowledge of something and go do that, right? So by ignoring what the masses are doing and taking your own path and really spending some time to understand something and do it right the first time, you can be exceptional and break the cycle that you're currently in. If you're here watching this video, I'd imagine you want to make more money online. So that's one of my big goals, is to just practically teach everybody for free how to do that. So when I'm looking at this market, what do we see? We see a bunch of sellers doing the same exact thing, right? Nothing really sticks out to me. I have no reason to buy any specific one. And so this is a big trap that you might fall in as an Amazon seller, okay? If I look at a market and it is a red ocean full of undifferentiated options, how am I going to do something different than anyone else to sell here, or understand truly and feel it deep within me that if I do everything here, I will never be successful? Both of those will serve you just as well, because they both essentially equate to the same understanding. However, you'll be surprised how many consulting calls I've been on where I am practically begging someone to see what's in front of them. Say, hey, I really don't think you should do this. This is what you're telling me is probably not going to work. It's what everyone else is doing. You just have a different price and a different box. Please don't do this. And people, for some reason, maybe you're one of these people, almost have a conviction sometimes that like, well, I just want to try. I want to get my feet wet, understand the process. Okay, well, you're understanding the process wrong. It's like saying, I want to learn how to bench press, and you're like doing it all sideways, and like you're not even using your chest, and like you're laying on the flat ground. Like, you're not learning how to bench press by doing it this way. I'm sorry. That's not a bench press. For one thing, you're going to need a bench. So try and be quick to cut that out of your personality if that's you. Where it's like, oh, I just want to try. I want to jump in. You're an action taker, and I like that. You will eventually get rewarded. But you could do with a little bit of thinking. So let's think. It's something I really never hear anyone say. Let's think here. What is the dream outcome of this customer? Well, they have these big plants that have lots of leaves that are probably unable to support their own weight. That's the basis of why someone comes here. What would be one of the best solutions to that problem? Well, I think the moss pole is good because some of these plants seem to have, roots and stems growing off of them in the air. I happen to own a monstera that's very large. I could benefit from one of these products. In fact, I need one. And so I know a little bit about the product, but if you didn't know anything about the product, you can just look and observe what's happening and ask yourself that first question. What do I think my customers are trying to solve? What problem are they solving? How are they getting closer to joy and further away from sadness? Like, there's different ways we can rephrase this. And then one of the very next things that I would do is I would think through, how do I provide more value than anyone else here? And do this through a thought experiment. If I had to charge $100, 5 times more than everyone else, what would my product include, and or what would it be? How would I do this? Would it be through fancy marketing, where like we source the cocoa coir steaks from a only renewable source locally, and it is hand wrapped by etc. Like, it is a similar product, but in its very quality, it's different. That probably, maybe you can charge 50% more, 60% more. You might even be able to double the price, but does that allow for 5 times the price? No, probably not. So let's think again. what else do they know? What else do we know about them that we can even use as a place to create value from? Well, we know that they are probably watering this plant. Is there anything there where like the top of the stake is a water reservoir and at the bottom there is a time release thing? So yes, your plant wraps around it, but you also can fill up to half a gallon of water into it, which will be a much easier way to water these plants at a slow release rate or something like that. Okay, a hollow stake with some type of mesh filter that drips slowly at the bottom. Yeah, we could probably engineer that. Is that possible? Yes. Cool. Now we have like a totally new product that no one else has. And this, I will not make light of this. You need to be different. Do not sell a product with a new label and think you're going to be successful. Unless you can source that product for free, or you can get it dramatically less than everyone else is paying. But let's just assess why we think that's possible. Do you think as a new Amazon seller, or even someone who sold a few Amazon products, has anywhere near the infrastructure to produce this product at 50%, or anywhere near the leverage to get a manufacturer to cut your cost by half of everyone else's? Probably not, unless you're the biggest person in the market ordering 5,000 of these things a month. Maybe then you have a little bit of leverage, and you can play around with how much you're sourcing at a time. And yeah, we can start to think through that, but that's not you, right? So our only route to success with a product is by value innovation. So it needs to be actually better for the person. And let me steer you away from another big mistake that I spent way too long doing, which is this idea of just like general bundling. For the most part, bundles tend to be less useful than just a better product that they're already looking for. They also tend to, I'm speaking very broadly, how most, as a consumer, what happens when most entrepreneurs, or I guess you're an entrepreneur if you actually are selling a product, are producing these things. And it reduces my likelihood of ordering from you again, because I probably won't need everything again. So here's a good example. Like if I were to bundle, okay, but I did the Monstera plant food, I got the ties for veggies, and I got these. Okay, well, for one thing, there's nothing really proprietary there. And someone could just buy, make that again 3 months, but they're 3 months behind, and everyone can always copy you. So we can't really get too lost in thought. I do want to at least hint at that, because I know a lot of people think like that. There is an advantage to first to market and to brand appeal and, package design, all that. If I do that, I likely don't get recurring customers. Whereas if someone gets a new Monstera and they loved their plant support, or they have likely more than one plant that needs to be supported, plant people tend to be a little bit more like I have, 5 plants around my house just that need to be supported, let alone how many there are. So what I'm getting at here is like the general bundle idea of just like, I'm going to throw everything together, even if it was valuable, is not as impactful or as much of a true value innovation as like the product itself gets better. Because again, they can technically get your offer elsewhere. And we, like I said, we want to have it so that if they like our offer, which we will make sure that they do through studying our customer avatar, can't get our product anywhere else. Simple solution, right? If you want it, you have to buy it from me. It's one of the many reasons that I'm successful on Amazon right now. It's because I've grown this very big bucket of customers that wants my product and can only get it from me. And we're making incremental improvements to the product, and we are, doubling down on what's working and seeing what they liked in that product and introducing that into our next product. It's not that hard. You just have to be different. And you cannot do what everyone else does and expect to get the same results. Expect to get different results. It just doesn't work that way. And yeah, hopefully this was valuable to you. Be sure to subscribe down below for more videos like this, and I will see you in the next video. Later.